Question. Do you know anything about the 10,000 or 10,001 avatars that volunteer to take embodiment on this planet? If so, what do you know about them? Well, there are a variety of spiritual teachings out there that talk about certain numbers of people that have, or life streams that have come to Earth specifically to have a positive impact on Earth. I have a whole playlist about avatars where I talk about this. There is an older teaching that was talked about in the Summit Lighthouse. I cannot remember right now whether it was also talked about in the I Am movement. I think it might have been. But the teaching is that at one point there was 144,000 life streams that volunteered to come from Venus and take embodiment on Earth. Now, if you're a materialist, you're going to say, oh, this is nonsense, there's no life on Venus. And there isn't in the physical realm. But as I've explained, the material world has 4 levels, the physical, emotional, mental, and identity. And there is life on Venus. There are beings on Venus that live in these higher realms. And there were 144,000 of them that volunteered to come to Earth to hold the spiritual balance for Earth. And their leader was an ascended master called Sanakumara. And this is a name that you find even in, I think even in Theosophy, you'll find this Kumara, the name there. And so actually, now that I think about it, probably that teaching goes back to Theosophy. So that was 144,000. But there are also talks about the 10,000. And this book, which was the first book I got from the Ascended Masters, it was actually dictated to me by Jesus in 2001. The Mystical Teachings of Jesus. He talks about that there are 10,000 people in embodiment right now who have the potential to manifest full Christhood in this lifetime. There are millions more who can manifest a high degree of personal Christhood, but there are 10,000 that can manifest a full Christhood. So you can actually look that up. It's not that there's a lot of teachings about the 10,000 in this book, but it is talked about. And they have talked about it in other dictations as well. So the idea is that there are life streams who have come from other planets to Earth, from natural planets, to be part of raising the Earth so it can become a natural planet again, so it can manifest the golden age of Saint Germain in the next 2,000 years. And you know, as I talk about in my avatar playlist, most spiritual people, most people who are spiritually interested, it's because we did come. We are not part of the original inhabitants of the Earth. We did come from somewhere else to be here and be part of raising the Earth. And it's, of course, very, very important, if that applies to you, to reconnect to that, so you intuitively sense why you're here. And again, you know, if you feel this resonates with you at all, I encourage you to watch my videos about avatars, the Avatar Revelations playlist, because I go into it in more depth here than I can do in just an answer to a question. So it's definitely an important concept, but it's also important to realize that, because I've seen people abuse the concept over the years, where they thought, oh, that means I'm so special, and that means I'm already have resolved psychology, it's just a matter of finding out what I'm here to do. But we have all, as I explained in the Avatar playlist, we've all been exposed to intense trauma by the fallen beings who want to prevent us from raising the Earth because they want to keep control over it. And as a result of that, we have unresolved psychology. And the only way we can really fulfill our highest potential is to resolve that psychology. And I've seen many, many people who came upon the concept and said, oh, right, now that I understand this, that means I'm already ready. But you're not. I certainly wasn't when I first heard about the concept. We first need to resolve the psychology that we have picked up over many past lifetimes as a result of dealing with the fallen beings, and then we can fulfill our mission that we are here for. And in a sense, you know, another way to misuse the concept is to think that, oh, we are here for some glorious mission. I remember especially in Summit Lighthouse, and I can see it also in the I Am movement, they had these far-flung visions of we are here to do something fantastic and something great to change the earth. And they were not very specific about what that was, So there was always a gap between what you wanted to do and how you were actually going to do it. But I have overcome that gap because I know exactly what we're here to do. We are first of all here to demonstrate the spiritual path. And the essence of the spiritual path, as I have mentioned a few times before, is the resolution of psychology. So what will actually change the earth more than anything is that we demonstrate that we can start out like everybody else. We grew up in a certain environment, there was nothing special about us. We had the same kind of psychology that many people have, but we have overcome it. We have resolved it. But you see, in order to do that, you have to be willing to do the work to look at your psychology and use appropriate tools to resolve it, instead of going into this mindset I see so many spiritual people going into. Oh, now that I found this advanced spiritual teaching, it must mean I'm so advanced I don't need to look at my psychology. I don't have an ego anymore. There's nothing to resolve. But there is, I guarantee you. I absolutely guarantee you. You can never go wrong by looking into your psychology and looking for what's hidden in the subconscious mind. You can never go wrong. Okay? You could potentially realize there's nothing, but that's better than if you didn't look. So you can't go wrong by looking.